to have some of my mercenaries. And she gave him a large platoon of Swabian mercenaries, mixture of German and Swiss. And you can see now taking the field some of the artillery men who are going to be, I believe, opposing the Swabian forces, the Yorkist forces. Now, he had a man with him, did the Earl of Lincoln, called Lambert Simnel. And this man claims to have been one of the princes locked in the Tower by his wicked uncle Richard. And we don't think that Lincoln actually believed him, but he was useful. So he went to Margaret and said, I've got the rightful King of England here. I need some troops. And she, of course, gave him the troops. Then they went via Ireland before they actually came to England, where this battle is set. The reason they went to Ireland, massive Yorkist sympathy in Ireland. And Lambert Simnel was actually, briefly, crowned king in Dublin Cathedral. Something I didn't know until I started researching this. He was actually crowned king. And a lot of Irish mercenaries then joined the Yorkist forces as well, being Irish sympathisers. Being Yorkist sympathisers, the Irish, sorry. Now at the back here, if you look to the rear end of the arena, you can see some gentlemen walking onto the field in what appears to be skirts or kilts. In actual fact, they are a group of Kern, who are the fighting Irish. They are the Irish infantrymen. And what they're wearing is a lena, which is a sash on the right as we're looking up the field at the moment. The Lancastrian army is now beginning to take the field, much more disciplined. They are on the king's side. As far as they're concerned, they're already winning. The king is their ultimate commander. It's a very reassuring position to be in. We have a variety of different households here, retainers, the livery and maintenance system still being very much in operation here. These are trained, retained soldiers who will listen to what their superiors say. Now, as you will see a bit later on, the Irish don't have this amount of discipline. It wasn't the done thing at that time. You didn't have the drill, you didn't actually have what he said. You didn't have the commands on the field. You'll notice when they walked on the field, they did it more or less in silence. These are under the command of a number of commanding officers, and these men will do what they're told, because that's their job, that's what they do. It would also appear the Lancastrian side is somewhat outnumbering the Yorkist side at the moment. And the handgunners are coming forward now. Handguns becoming a much more common weapon on the battlefield. Not particularly accurate, but they will make a right mess if you're wearing armour. They'll go through a horse, they'll go through you if you're unlucky enough to be hit. As I say, they use slightly undersized ball, there's no rifling in the barrels, so they are not particularly accurate. They're also prone to explode, which isn't very good for the gunner. Defiance being shouted by the Swiss and the Germans. Bit of flag twirling going on. Look at us, we're braver than you. And no response from the Lancastrians. They don't care. They're disciplined, well ordered, and they will do what... Although we had maybe 5 or 6 shots there, not one of them has found its mark. I believe they're rubbish. I believe also the actual range of these weapons, they might be a little far away for it to make too much damage at this point. And the English longbowmen here, keep an eye on these guys. They might play a very major part in this. They're busy knocking their arrows to their bows, waiting the command, waiting the signal. I can see the Yorkist commander here walking to the front of his men. Is he going to ask for parley? Or is somebody going to unleash hell? I suspect the latter. The artillery pieces shoot off well. One of them making a put rather than a bang there, I notice. It takes quite a while to reload these guns, maybe a minute. So they're useful, but only for one shot. Then you have to be quite in range of the arrows while you're reloading. And now you can see the Swiss under Martin Schwarz, the Swiss are coming forward with the Germans. I do apologise. I am not about to start doing that, madam. The Oxfords now shouting defiance at the Yorkists. And the captain coming forward here, resplendent. Just resplendent, really. He's a very resplendent chap. And he's brought forward his smallest fighter to stand with him. The Irish are looking very up for it, but milling around somewhat. My Lord Stanley's at the bottom of the field, madam, as we're facing here. My Lord Stanley's right down the end there. My pleasure. And the archers now shooting off, lofting their arrows, just getting the range. Oh, that's not bad for a first shot. That was quite in range. And the handguns, again, replying, again finding no mark. The archers have got their eye in beautifully there. And you see the Oxfords now in wedge formation, making their way up the field. You'll see the rude soldier sticking his tongue out at you. And they appear to be walking at a fairly sedate pace into Martin Schwarz's troop, who have halted. And I believe the Tudors are walking up the field to back them up. And they walk in. And the command avant-tre goes down, which we believe means you drop your point down, ready to poke holes in the nasty enemy. And they engage. I'll get out of the way. I have sense. All very organised, very orderly. You see the mercenaries going in, trying to keep the enemy at the end of that long pike, that long pole they've got. And so, oh, man goes down, man goes down. And derision, cries of derision and fight, fight, fight go up. You'll notice only a third of the troop have actually engaged. They're doing a rolling, clearly a rolling battle here. And we have a press of armed men here. You see the plumes, the blue, the red and black plumes. A press of men, very, very few casualties being taken as I speak. And all the time arrows being lofted into the handgunners. And the artillery piece is now going off. The very loud bass-voiced booms coming from the Lancastrian artillery pieces. You can see the muzzle blast going off. The good thing about the air being damp today also is it makes the powder crack when it goes off. It makes a much better noise. Ooh. And all those arrows going short, going into their own side. That was a bit... that's better. And now you'll see some of the Yorkist forces coming forward and being flat shot. Previously they've been lofting the arrows to come down and hit people on the head, in the foot, whatever they can reach. Now they're being flat shot. And these arrows will make a substantial dent in armour, if not go through them. Back to lofting again now. But flat shooting is very, very effective against an enemy at close range. And they're going in, you see, the middle of the Lancastrian forces going in. Possibly. And the Swiss coming to get some more. And one man down over there with the hearts on. Maybe that's Lovell, I don't know. Lovell might still be on his horse at this point. My Lord Lovell is on the Yorkist side, one of the main players in this. The only man, they say, to survive. The only Yorkist commander to survive. Not the only man to survive. And the fighting gets a little bit more ambitious now. mainly keeping to lines here, but there's also some one-on-one fights occurring, which isn't what the commanders are going to want of either side. The Irish at the far side of the field, I believe, have now engaged, and the Irish are running in. They're running in an undisciplined mob. They just